Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the gymnasium here at Milford High School as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call as we bring you another edition of Milford Varsity Boys Basketball tonight. The Milford Scarlet Hawks tonight welcome in another one of their rivals from the Kelly Rex division in the King Philip Warriors. Milford clocks in tonight at 4-4 overall on the season in 5th place in the Kelly Rex standings. King Philip, meanwhile, is on a roll. They've won 4 straight, and they are 5-2 overall on the season, currently tied for 2nd place in the Kelly Rex standings. Always a good time when these two teams tangle up on the hardwood. And just about to get this game started, and we already get our first whistle right on the opening tip-off. Good atmosphere here in the Milford gym tonight. And eventually it is the King Philip Warriors tracking down the opening tip-off, so they will control here to get started. The starting 5 for the Warriors is Grant Kinney, Tommy Mortarano, Will LaPlante, Tommy Kilroy, and Trevor Clyde. Taking that ball to the hoop was Will LaPlante, but he gets blocked on the way up. Good transition for Milford as Tyler Ballard takes it the distance and in for the first bucket of the night. The Scarlet Hawks starting 5, Andrew Rivera, Tyler Ballard, Luca Testa, Nick Arujo, and CJ Farrell. A quick takeaway here for Farrell. Milford coming out with some good energy. King Philip had a dominant start in their most recent game against the Attleboro Bombardiers. They built up a huge lead in the first quarter. Ended up having to hold on after a furious run in the end by the Bombardiers, but did hold on for the victory. But a hot start was key there for KP, so Milford hoping to avoid seeing KP get off strong here tonight. CJ Farrell, meanwhile, has gotten off strong with a couple of quick buckets. Milford deflecting that ball back into the hands of the Warriors, but a missed shot for Grant Kinney, and the Hawks clean up the glass from there. Here's CJ Farrell, an athletic move to the rim, but gets stuffed on the way up. A good block by number 15, Trevor Clyde, providing good height inside. The junior forward. Still Milford possession, a fresh shot clock, 6:47 still on the first quarter clock. Meanwhile, Milford will turn it over. They can't get the inbounds pass in. A loss earlier this week for the Scarlet Hawks in a game that they did lead in the earlier stages on the road against Canton, but the Bulldogs with a good second half effort to pull off the victory. Head coach Paul Seaver hoping to have Ryan Franklin available for this game as KP drills a 3 to get themselves on the scoreboard. And I believe that was LaPlante with the 3. This is a team that can get very hot from outside the arc, so Milford's going to have to guard against that. Rivera now with a tough pass handled by the freshman CJ Farrell. Milford with a 1-point lead, but there is LaPlante with the takeaway. He'll pull up from the free throw line, get some nice bank off the glass, and it's a quick 5-point run for LaPlante to give King Philip now their first lead of the night at 5-4. So LaPlante and Farrell, the only scorers so far in the game until now, as Luca Testa gets that shot to bank home. The lead seesawing back and forth after these last couple of possessions. A miss from the corner, and Tyler Ballard pulls down a defensive rebound. Good up and down action here in these early minutes. Farrell backs out behind the arc, now dribbles his way in. Ballard with it now up top. Testa able to hold on to the possession. And now the Hawks settle things back down. CJ Farrell now directing traffic right at midcourt. Finds Luca Testa open from 3. And that shot rims out. Rebound controlled by Tommy Mortarano for KP. You'll see a couple of familiar characters on this KP roster that impacted play during the football season, as it has become quite a football rivalry between these two schools in recent seasons, a rivalry that unfortunately for Milford fans has been fairly one-sided in KP's favor. Rivera just able to hang on to that ball, takes it to the rack, scores, and a chance for a 3-point play. Rivera's first bucket of the night, as Milford takes an 8-5 lead, looking for more with the free throw. The foul will go on Tommy Kilroy of King Philip, his first. Team fouls even at 1 apiece. Clean on the free throw for Rivera. He gets the 3-point play. It's a 4-point lead once again for the Scarlet Hawks. LaPlante will quickly release from 3-point territory. It's no good. But KP in a crowd able to pull down the rebound. That was great work by Trevor Clyde. But ultimately, for that effort, KP turns it over. Wyatt Zagami into the game now for the Scarlet Hawks. He gets that pass over to CJ Farrell, but Farrell called for the travel. Jake Soares also on the floor now for Milford. Gonna have to keep your eyes on number 5 throughout this game. Can make a lot of things happen both down low and from long distance. Guns this pass the width of the floor, and it's Clyde who takes it in for the bucket. Cuts it right back down to a 2-point margin with 3:48 to go in an entertaining first quarter. Soares calling for the ball. Now it's Farrell, thought about the long distance 3, now gets a little bit tangled up, able to recover. And now another ill-advised pass, and this time Milford pays the price as Kinney collects the loose ball. Trying for the fadeaway shot, but couldn't get the elevation. Now Milford pushing the tempo in transition. Zagami sets the feet and drains the 3. The Milford captain gets his first bucket of the night. And that sends us into our first stoppage as timeout is called on the floor with 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It'll give us a chance to take a look back through the recent action for these two teams. Milford had rattled off a 3-game winning streak after that victory against North Attleboro a week ago in a game that we covered here on Milford TV, a 58-44 win against North Attleboro. They followed that up with a 52-46 loss in a closely played game at Canton earlier this week. The King Philip Warriors, meanwhile, had a little bit of a hiccup out of the gate with losses in 2 out of their first 3 games, including losses to Franklin and Stoughton. But since then, they have been red hot. 4 straight victories, a couple of non-conference games on the road against Leominster and Framingham, and then a couple of Hockomock League road victories at Attleboro and most recently at Foxborough earlier this week. So KP coming in with momentum, back to live action now with just over 3 minutes remaining in quarter number 1. A 12-7 Milford lead. Into the corner now for the 3-point shot. Count it for Colin Peck in off the bench. And right back down to a thin 2-point margin. Active cheering sections for both of these teams in the house tonight. Here's Milford trying their luck from 3. It's, again, just offline for Luca Testa. Good court vision leading to a wide open look from 3 for Grant Kinney, but this time it's no good for KP. Now it is Rivera who takes it inside, very close to a travel as he took the Euro step and ultimately drew the contact. Ends up at the free throw line as the foul. We'll wait for it to be updated on the scoreboard, as that one doesn't fall through for Rivera. Looks like Coach Seaver will get Gus Coutinho into this game at the next opportunity. He will come in now as Rivera makes the second free throw. He's 2 out of his first 3 tonight. The only player to shoot free throws so far, and it's a 3-point Milford lead with 2:24 on the game clock. Screen leading to an open look for Martirano that rims out, but King Philip able to track down the rebound. And now possession flipping onto the Scarlet Hawks side. Testa back to the bench. Milford with Zagami, Soares, Farrell, Rivera, and Coutinho, the 5 on the floor, as we are about to enter the final 2-minute stretch of the first quarter. Milford still holding on to that 3-point lead as Coutinho goes to the basket, puts it in with the left hand, and gets fouled. Milford doing a good job of attacking the basket in this first quarter. Coutinho finishes off the 3-point play. A 6-point advantage now for the Scarlet Hawks as we get another timeout called here with exactly 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Now, while we have a quick break in the action, we want to bring you an update on something that we're working on here for our sports coverage. We received some very passionate feedback on social media earlier this week imploring us to try to get some coverage of the Milford wrestling team. We don't have any wrestling experts on our staff, so it makes it a little difficult for us to get live coverage of the wrestling team, but we certainly want to recognize the efforts of the Milford wrestling team as they are in the midst of a special season once again. They are undefeated so far on the year. They've got a quad match coming up on Saturday, January 21st. So we're going to try to get our cameras out to that game to record the action for playback. We won't be live with the coverage, but we're hopeful to get that wrestling meet in coming up on Saturday, January 21st, and we'll have the coverage available on our educational channel and streaming on all of our online platforms in the week following. So look for that wrestling coverage. We also hope to get out to one of the wrestling practices coming up here in the next couple of weeks to talk to the team, as they have really been having a phenomenal season. So with that, we return to live action. The bucket for King Philip to pull them a little bit closer here as we tick down to 90 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's Coutinho now who takes a deep 3. And Gus Coutinho coming in here late in the first quarter, and he's collected 5 points. And now from downtown, it's LaPlante. He banks it in. A big answer for LaPlante. He has 10 points now in this first quarter. And the lead for Milford is 4. Rivera comes inside and once again takes contact. Will go to the line. And that is the second foul now on Tommy Kilroy. Tyler Ballard to the bench here. C.J. Farrell back onto the floor for this final stretch. That ball up for grabs, finally settled down by KP after a make and a miss for Rivera. Quick outlet pass, and Milford commits the foul underneath the KP hoop. And the first King Philip free throws will come courtesy of Colin Peck. Came off the bench and immediately drained a 3 earlier in this quarter. Foul called on Gus Coutinho. And so Peck misses both free throw attempts, but King Philip maintains control of the basketball, leads to a shot for Kinney that's no good. And now Milford a little out of control as Soares tried to send that pass back. It gets intercepted. And a quick transition bucket for Will LaPlante, who already has 12 first quarter points. A one-possession game. Shot clock is turned off. A deflected pass, and now the foot race is on. King Philip to the basket, and Kinney gets the shot. And now the margin is just 1 point. Milford playing for the final shot in the hands of Catino. He gets the shot away. It's well short. And so a shooting gallery here over the first 8 minutes. A nice little run to close out the period for King Philip. Settling things down to just a 1 point difference on the scoreboard. Milford 20 and King Philip 19. What an entertaining start. We'll get the second quarter going in just a moment. Stay with us on Milford TV. Start of the second quarter here in Milford. The Scarlet Hawks with a 1 point edge on King Philip at 20-19. Happy to have you tuning into this coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics on Milford TV here tonight. Whether you're tuned into us live on our live streaming YouTube coverage, or you might be tuned in after the fact, streaming the game, or checking us out on our educational channel, we're so happy to have you viewing tonight's basketball action. We've got a good crowd on hand in our live viewers over on YouTube. And a very lively crowd here in the Milford gym, quieted here just for the moment, but a good cheering section for KP. The Milford crowd has been loud. The student section in big-time numbers for this Kelly Rex Division showdown. And meanwhile, here is Will LaPlante taking an easy stroll to the basket, and the reaction from Coach Seaver says it all, just shaking his head, walking away from the play. And LaPlante with an opportunity for a three-point play as King Philip immediately jumps on top here with the first bucket of quarter number 2. LaPlante misses the free throw, but he is a dangerous player, already now with 14 points on the night. King Philip, meanwhile, immediately unleashes another three. It's no good. Rebound is deflected over into the area of C.J. Farrell. Rivera backs out. Jack Buckley onto the floor early on in the second quarter for the Scarlet Hawks. We also see a return now for Ryan Franklin. Rivera takes it inside, doesn't get the contact this time, and just offline on the shot. Ball almost coming loose, but kicked to the corner and dropped in for three. That is Brandon Nicastro in off the bench for King Philip. He drills a three, and just about every single one of these players on the floor have been hot from long range for King Philip. Meanwhile, Luca Testa cuts through traffic, has an easy look at the rim, but can't make the basket. And a dangerous run here in the making for King Philip as they've now taken a 4-point lead. Milford had a 6-point lead right in the final stages of the first quarter, but KP has gotten hot. Here's Testa again trying to back his way in. Gets blocked, able to get the ball back. And now loops a pass out that is pulled down by C.J. Farrell. And we get a whistle. The foul called on Tommy Martirano for King Philip. 5 team fouls now for King Philip, 3 for Milford. Tipping under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Around the perimeter to Testa, in some trouble. Gets it back out to Farrell. Good defense here for King Philip. Franklin will take the shot from three-point territory. It's no good, and the rebound controlled by KP. So Milford's offense all of a sudden has gotten a little cold. Milford thought they had the steal, but the referee is going to call the foul. No, I beg your pardon. The foul coming against KP, so Milford will inbound here. Tyler Ballard back on the floor. He can't get through traffic. Now the ball loose. Farrell dives for it, tosses it back. And right now, everyone on the KP side clamoring for a backcourt violation, as that might have been the right call there. Farrell had reestablished possession. Now this ball kicking back out to Testa. And right now, Luca Testa not all that comfortable here tonight. Third chance for Milford for Buckley under the basket is no good. And now getting locked up for a jump ball. Milford with all kinds of chances on that possession, including a bit of a gift there on what should have been a backcourt violation. But Milford is still scoreless so far in the second quarter. A 4-point lead for the Warriors with possession. And that ball stripped underneath the basket. And KP able to get it back. Good hands for Martirano. Missing on a couple of buckets, but a traveling violation against Milford will give possession right back to the Warriors. LaPlante will inbound. And a pat on the back for Tommy Martirano, doing some hard work under the basket. The head coach for King Philip is Dave DiStefano. He has been active on the sideline, as has Coach Seaver and his staff. Out on the perimeter for King Philip once again, where they've been so dangerous. It's LaPlante now. LaPlante steps back, takes the three, and is perfect once again. Up to 5 points here in the second quarter, 17 points in the game. He has been a machine, and he has upped the King Philip lead now to 7 points. And Milford desperately seeking their first basket here in the second quarter. A jersey tug on C.J. Farrell on his way up to the basket. That does not get called. And the refs have been letting some things go here in the second quarter. Farrell ends up missing the bucket. Milford keeps the possession, and it takes a circus shot from Luca Testa to finally get Milford back on the scoreboard here in the quarter, and a chance for a three-point play. Second bucket in the half for Testa. The foul on Grant Kinney. Testa can't connect on the free throw. But a big second chance effort there for the Scarlet Hawks. The crowd telling the story. It's back down to a one-possession game. was great work by C.J. Farrell to keep that ball alive for Milford, and then Testa putting it in. So he misses the free throw, but ends up with 4 points when all is said and done. 6 points overall in the half, and so it's back down again to just a 3-point margin. A relatively low-scoring quarter so far compared to the first. It was 20-19 at the close of the first quarter. Right now, King Philip outscoring Milford 8-4 in the second quarter so far. 3.5 minutes still to go. Not a lot of points separating these two teams on the scoreboard right now. That has typically been the case in recent meetings between these two teams. In the last 5 head-to-head meetings between these two teams, the final score has been a differential on average of just 3.6 points. So these teams are used to playing games that go right down to the wire. We have really seen some fabulous theater unfold between these two schools on the basketball court in seasons past. It seems like every time King Philip comes to town, when we have the coverage, we get a good, exciting game that sometimes comes down to literally the final possession. Will LaPlante at the free throw line coming out of the timeout. Misses the shot from the line. He has not missed very much here tonight. The only thing that has been a struggle for LaPlante has been the free throws, where he is 0 for 3 in the half. But King Philip maintains possession after the free throw misses. And King Philip's going to go right back to the line now as both teams are in the penalty. They call the foul on Jake Soares, his first foul. And so the violation, they wave off the free throw. Now Soares heads in. Jake Soares with a nice play to the basket to get on the score sheet for the first time. And there is Nick Arujo fighting under the basket. They call for the jump ball. Possession arrow was pointing King Philip's way. So they'll get it back here with an even 3 minutes left in the half. A 1-point differential on the scoreboard. A nice play for King Philip, but cannot connect on the layup. And then down the other end of the floor, it is John Assini who draws the charge on Milford. Still 27-26 on the scoreboard as KP drives the lane. And LaPlante is going to get fouled. They're going to call it on C.J. Farrell, who has 2 fouls now. And so LaPlante, after missing 3 straight, finally sinks his first free throw of the night. 1 more coming up. Two out of 2 this time. 19 first half points for Will LaPlante with still some time left to go. Still a 1-possession game now at a 3-point lead, and a beautiful play to the basket with Wyatt Zagami finishing at the rim. He has 5 first half points. And both of these teams right now showing a lot of skill. It's Martirano with the touch at the basket. An exchange of buckets, and we head down the final stretch of this first half, still in a 1-possession game. Farrell now with a head of steam, now sends it out on the wing. Farrell goes down. He is in some pain, a little slow to get up as Testa's shot rumbles through. And as Farrell gets back to his feet, looks to be favoring the left foot or ankle a little bit. It was Testa with the bucket, who has 6 points now in this second quarter. And again, a 1-point game. Now LaPlante now going against Araujo. His shot no good. CJ Farrell getting a rest on the sideline right now as Soares steps back for the three and drains it. And that is going to give the Scarlet Hawks a 1-point lead with less than 90 seconds to go in the half. After some struggles early in this quarter, Milford figuring it out here late. That ball swatted out of bounds by Wyatt Zagami, who has been feeling it here tonight. 5 points, but he has been active during his minutes on the floor. He's been a factor. That shot in and out for Martirano. And Milford with the lead and the ball, coming down to the final minute of the first half. Gus Catino back on the floor. Sends an awkward shot up and gets it to go. The lead is 3 for Milford. KP looking for a quick answer, not this time from 3. The rebound controlled by Araujo. About a 4-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Catino hoists up a quick 3, it's no good. And now the shot clock turned off, with Grant Kinney now as the ball handler for King Philip. Soares trailing him, 13 seconds to go. Soares active defensively as Kinney now makes his way in, sends it to the corner for 3, and count it for Nicastro, who has a pair of threes in this quarter. Milford heaves it at the buzzer, it's no good, and we will end this first half right where we started it, tied up. It is Milford 34 and King Philip 34. And these fans absolutely getting their money's worth halfway through this game. Outstanding effort for both of these teams. Big shot after big shot being knocked down. And an entertaining second half, no doubt, on the way, as again, we are tied up at 34. So everyone watching at home on the live stream, hang tight for the next 10 minutes, and then we will be back with the start of the second half. Stay with our coverage of Milford High School athletics here on Milford TV. welcome back once again inside the Milford Gymnasium. It is time to get the second half started. It has been a good one tonight between the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the visiting King Philip Warriors. Varsity boys basketball action tied at 34 as the second half gets started. An early try from three-point territory for Andrew Rivera, who had just one shot from the field in the first half. Scarlet Hawks back to most of their starting five as we get this second half started. A miss here for King Philip as well. The only difference is Joe Soares out on the floor. Jake Soares, I beg your pardon. Walking in, Testa. He can't knock down the shot. And a string of misses here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Kick out from three-point territory. That shot is no good, and these teams looking to get the offense ramped back up. Plenty of offense for both of these teams in the first half with 34 points apiece. It was Will LaPlante, your game-scoring leader through the first half with 19 points. As Jake Soares gets the second half scoring started. For Milford, it was Gus Catino leading the scoring effort with 8 points. Each team had 6 different scorers in the first half. Offensive rebound for King Philip as they keep attacking from long range. Haven't knocked one down yet as Milford has a slim 36-34 lead. And a nice move up to the basket for Luca Testa. Back-to-back buckets for the Scarlet Hawks. And now the first look of the second half for Will LaPlante, who continues to be absolutely lethal from long range. 22 points now in the game. A lot of that damage has come from distance. Now it is Farrell. Good to see Farrell back out on the floor as he got a little shaken up at the end of the second quarter. Andrew Rivera, meanwhile, has not quite been able to get his offensive game going. Milford fans wanted to see a travel call there. Instead, King Philip sends a shot up that misses everything out of the hands of Tommy Kilroy. Here's Arujo now with the move to the basket, and that gets the fans pumped up. It's the first bucket of the night for Nick Arujo. His presence has been a big part of this recent stretch for the Scarlet Hawks. Since he has been inserted into Milford's starting lineup, they have won 3 out of their last 4 games. They had won 3 straight before coming up short against Canton earlier this week. Meanwhile, it is C.J. Farrell going coast to coast. He puts that shot in, and believe it or not, that is C.J. Farrell's first points of the night. He has been so visible out on the floor, but just his first bucket. And now another deflection into Farrell's hands. He carries it in. Does not go, but a deflection now into the hands of Soares. Slings it to the corner. Three-pointer. Testa, count it. And Milford rolling early on in this third quarter. It forces King Philip into a timeout. An 11-3 run so far for the Scarlet Hawks. Clock paused right now with 4 minutes and 33 seconds to go. Let's take a peek at how the games went between these two teams last year. Both of them were close, as we've talked about. The first game of the season came at King Philip, a game that went deep into overtime. Another high-scoring game between these two teams, but one that King Philip ultimately came away with the victory. An 85-78 final score in overtime. However, when the action shifted to Milford later on in the season, it was the Scarlet Hawks picking up a pulse-pounding 65-63 win. That ended up ending a 15-game losing streak for the Scarlet Hawks last season, giving them their first victory of the season, their first and only victory against Hockomock League competition last season. As, of course, it was a difficult year for the Scarlet Hawks last year. They ended the season with just 2 victories, but one of them did come against this King Philip team. Their only other victory on the season came against non-conference competition. As Milford ended the year last year at just 2-21. They already have 4 victories on the year this year. They've been a much more competitive group and giving a solid effort here tonight against a very talented King Philip team. Back to live action, 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go as Milford commits the foul. Called against Luca Testa. It's his first foul. Grant Kinney at the line for King Philip. Kinney had 2 points in the first half. King Philip only 3 out of 9 for 3 free throws. He can make it 4 out of 10 now. That was a good trip to the line for Kinney. The lead for Milford is 6. That ball boxed around on the exchange with Rivera. Eventually he settles it. Now Rivera will try his luck from long distance. It's no good. Farrell able to deflect the ball out. Now all the way over towards the crowd as Rivera ends up in the first row. The ball ends up in the hands of King Philip, and a couple of tries right underneath the basket does not lead to any points. The ball's still up for grabs, and King Philip settles it back down. The 3 from the corner, no good. And the foul committed under the basket by Colin Peck, and that finally ends a wild possession for King Philip. A lot of opportunities, but nothing going down. And meanwhile, Will LaPlante very gingerly heads to the sideline, and he will be looked after by the Milford training staff as he looks to be favoring either his right knee or right ankle. And so the sharpshooter off the floor for the time being for King Philip. Here is Luca Testa now. He goes inside, had the size advantage, and makes it count. Luca Testa has 7 points in this third quarter. He's got 14 points in the game. Up at the top of the key, now the dish over to Grant Kinney. Goes against Soares. The ball ends up out of play. It stays with King Philip. LaPlante now trying to get loose on the sidelines. As this long pass is picked off by King Philip. No look pass over towards the corner is going to end with a traveling violation. Milford has stretched the lead out to 8 points. This, I believe, is the largest lead either team has had tonight. A faster moving quarter here in the third. Farrell finding Wyatt Zagami. He has a wide open lane to the basket, puts it up and in. Zagami continues to look good here tonight. A 10-point lead now for the Scarlet Hawks. Will LaPlante at the scorer's table, so it looks like his return is imminent. Now the open look for Kinney from outside is off the back of the rim. Andrew Rivera settles down the rebound. Sends it up ahead. Zagami thought about the 3. And now Soares in some trouble. And King Philip is going to settle this ball down. It ends up with Martirano. Now this ball tips. Soares back in the action once again. And that's going to be a backcourt violation. CJ Farrell to inbound right in front of our broadcast setup with 1:59 on this third quarter game clock. A 10-point Milford lead. Soares running the point. Milford having a great offensive night so far, despite their typical leading scorer really having an off night in Andrew Rivera. Rivera still has just 1 basket from the floor tonight. And now Araujo getting the feet tangled up. guarding against LaPlante. He'll pick up the foul. It's just his first. 2 team fouls for Milford, just 1 for King Philip. It's been a pretty clean quarter thus far with just 1:15 to go. And meanwhile, Milford losing track of a man under the basket. It was a wide open look for Kinney. He can't get there. Now Farrell flies to the floor. Kinney gets it back. And it ends up as a foul. I believe that will go against Wyatt Zagami. Indeed. CJ Farrell going furiously to the floor. Some heavy contact there as these players have maxed out the effort here tonight. LaPlante gets a couple of defenders to leave their feet, instead kicks the ball out for a shot for Brandon DeCastro, who knocked down a couple of threes late in the second quarter. Doesn't make this shot, and I think if you're Coach DeStefano, you want to see LaPlante taking those shots with how well he has played tonight. So far, LaPlante has just 1 shot in this third quarter. Knocked down a 3 early. We're inside of the final minute of the third. 49-39 Milford leads. Zagami goes up. Shot doesn't go, and Milford gets called for the offensive foul. That's 2 fouls now on Zagami. The Milford bench is loud, the Milford crowd getting loud. Awkward pass finds its way back out on the perimeter. That shot too strong, and the rebound settled by Testa. Shot clock turned off, less than 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Soares works his way around LaPlante. Now Zagami surveys his options, and instead he'll get fouled. Third team foul for KP. Milford will inbound with 20.2 seconds to go. Dangerous pass. Will LaPlante picks it off. Testa gets back defensively, and a nice effort there to help on the defense by Zagami to deny the shot. King Philip keeps the possession alive. 7 seconds left on the clock. They get it to LaPlante. He gets double teamed on the perimeter. Good positioning for Araujo to deny the good look, and the buzzer sounds here in the third quarter. Milford will carry a 10-point lead into the final 8 minutes. Good defense there at the end for Nick Araujo. And so a quality game comes down to the final 8 minutes. Milford with the double-digit lead. We'll see how things shake out in the fourth quarter. That starts next here on Milford TV. Back in this raucous Milford gym for the start of the fourth quarter. An errant pass as Milford TV clamors, or I beg your pardon, as King Philip clamors for the tipped ball, and they're eventually going to get the call. Coach Seaver with his arms outstretched, he can't believe it. 7 minutes and 52 seconds to go in this game. Tim Coet back with you on the call here for Milford TV. A great student-run crew here alongside tonight. Here's LaPlante again getting guarded by Nick Araujo. He gets called for the travel, and Araujo has gotten the best of that matchup the last 2 times they've gone head-to-head. Coach Seaver has continued to have glowing praise for Nick Araujo throughout this season. And he has shined defensively here tonight. Milford takes that one in. But again, not much luck around the rim tonight for Rivera. Zagami goes up for the block. Does he pick up the foul? He does. That'll be his 3rd. I beg your pardon, it'll be his 4th foul. So Zagami in danger here with still 7:12 to play. He's been good off the bench. He has 7 points. He's played solid defense. He'll head to the bench here, being replaced by C.J. Farrell. One more shot to go for Tommy Martirano after he makes the first. A chance to cut it to 8, and he does. Farrell, Soares, Rivera, Testa, and Araujo, the 5 on the floor. As KP sells out for the steal, it pays off. Rivera tries to get back defensively, but Kilroy's able to put it in. And that's a quick 4-point swing in King Philip's favor. It's cut it down to a 2-possession lead for Milford. The Milford crowd quiet for the time being. Soares, the bounce pass to the corner for Testa. Nice feed to Farrell. Can he finish? Gets another crack at it. Now it's Araujo fighting down low, but KP takes it away. No points for Milford. And now an athletic move to the basket for Martirano. And it's a 6-0 run to start this 4th quarter for King Philip. They've cut it down to a 4-point margin. Rivera takes an awkward shot from distance. It's short. And you can tell Rivera right now is a little bit in his head. It has just not come easy for Andrew Rivera tonight. Andrew has been the leading scorer on this team throughout the season so far. As we take a look at some of the stats coming into the game, Rivera averaging an even 15 points a night. But tonight has been limited to just 5 points. He has not scored yet here in the second half. 3 of those points came from the free throw line in the first quarter. And all 5 of his points in total came in that first period. So it's been a quiet night for the sophomore. It's been a great night for Luca Testa, who has 14 points to lead the Milford effort. He was the dominant force in that 3rd quarter, scored 7 points. It was a 10-point lead for the Scarlet Hawks coming into this 4th quarter, but it has been shaved down to just 4. It's still a lot of time left, 6:05, so as we talked about, the recent matchups between these schools have been razor-thin margins. So it was a good bet that it wasn't going to be a double-digit lead the rest of the way. KP with a chance to cut further into the Milford lead here. They get the ball to LaPlante. He'll take this shot from near midcourt. Doesn't make it this time. Will LaPlante certainly does not lack in the confidence department. Believes he can knock a shot down from anywhere on the floor. Here's Testa. He absorbs the contact. He'll head to the free throw line. This Milford crowd really appreciating the effort they've seen out of the players here tonight. These are just the first free throws in the second half for Milford. Testa can only make one of them. A 5-point lead for the Hawks, 5.5 minutes to go in this game. The cut inside, that shot dropped in by Nicastro. A one-possession lead now for Milford. It was 10 when this quarter began. Gus Catino back on the floor. He loses control of the basketball. It goes out of play, stays with Milford. Shot clock at 22. Catino gets it into Araujo. Catino takes the shot from the corner. That was well offline. Now good pace on that possession for King Philip. Ends with the Martirano bucket and the once 10-point lead down to a single-point lead for the Scarlet Hawks. Needing to find that second gear here in the fourth. Heavy contact between Soares and LaPlante. They call the foul on LaPlante. It is his third. Soares directs traffic. Milford really taking their time, a methodical possession here. Soares now in some trouble, has to heave the ball back out. Farrell pulls it down, and we get a whistle. Looks like they'll call it on Brandon Nicastro of King Philip. 6 team fouls now for King Philip, so one more and Milford will shoot free throws the rest of the way. Into the corner for Araujo. He goes up for the bucket. They wave off the basket as KP draws the charge. Coach Seaver can only look and smirk. That's the style of play he loves. Unfortunately, seeing it on the other side of the floor. 2 fouls for Nick Araujo. And still just a 1-point differential on the scoreboard with just 4 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Martirano getting hot here in the fourth quarter. He drives inside but doesn't get the shot. Up ahead now. That pass angled towards Soares, but possession flips to KP. Milford took the lead early in the third quarter. They have led the whole way throughout the second half. KP almost putting a stop to that there, but the shot doesn't fall. Milford in desperate need of some offense. Less than 3.5 minutes to play. Araujo down behind the play. Farrell to the basket where he takes contact. And so KP now in the penalty. Milford at 16 fouls, so they have one more left to give. And Farrell can't connect from the free throw line. It's been interesting here tonight. 2 of the top scorers in this offense. Rivera, who averages 15 points a game. CJ Farrell, who averages 10.6 a night. Both players have been limited to a combined 7 points, and yet Milford holds a 1-point lead here down the stretch of this game. If either one of those players can find a couple of baskets here late, it'll make a big difference. Here's Farrell. Good passing leads to an open look for Zagami. It's off the back of the rim. But back in Wyatt's hands here with just over 3 minutes to go. Back up top for Farrell. Up top for Soares. Soares battles through a double team. Now tries to get the high bank off the glass. A tough angle shot doesn't go. And again, an opportunity for King Philip to take the lead with 2:45 left on the clock. LaPlante drives in. Araujo able to get good position. But LaPlante ends up getting his own rebound. He puts it back, gets the shot and the foul. KP with a 1-point lead, and a free throw coming up for the leading scorer on the floor, Will LaPlante. That's his first bucket here in the fourth quarter, but it comes at a crucial time. And LaPlante calmly puts in the free throw. It's a three-point play that gives King Philip now a 2-point advantage as we tick down to 2.5 minutes left to play. Milford has not come up with a basket in their last several trips up the floor. And these are really the key situations for this team at this stage of their development. There's no question that this roster has improved greatly after taking their lumps last season. Many of these players as freshmen. They've shown that they have skill. They've shown that they can compete, but it's in these key moments here. Can they come up with the big shots? Can they come up with the big stops? Unfortunately, right there, Rivera with a chance to tie the game back up at the free throw line, but he misses the shot. And now it's Martirano with the fadeaway jumper. The shot no good, and then a good hustle play as Milford ends up absorbing the contact, and they will head right back to the free throw line. This time it is Zagami. Milford has made just 1 out of 4 free throws here in the second half. And they stay cold, but Rivera controls the rebound. Here's Farrell to the basket. He puts it in to tie this game back up at 52. Less than 2 minutes to play. Wide open look from three-point territory. That shot doesn't fall for King Philip. A physical battle for the rebound. It's back in the hands of Nicastro, and then wide open under the basket. 2 more points for Martirano. He has 6 in this fourth quarter, and it's back to a 2-point KP lead. "90 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. Farrell kicks it out to Rivera into the corner for Araujo. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's Soares now. He works the baseline. He tosses it up, and he will shoot 2 free throws, as that is the 10th team foul of this second half for King Philip. Another chance for Milford to come through at the free throw line. Right now, Luca Testa is perched at the scorer's table waiting to check back into this game. But in the meantime, 2 crucial free throws coming up here for the junior captain, Jake Soares. Soares able to make the first. Rivera heads to the bench. Luca Testa out onto the floor. A perfect 2 for 2 for Jake Soares, and we're knotted back up at 54. 65 seconds to the end of this fourth quarter. Martirano lines up for 3. A couple of bounces around the rim. It's no good. And it is Will LaPlante who comes through yet again, grabs the rebound, puts it back, and a chance for another 3-point play. As we'll get timeout taken on the floor. A 27-point night in the making for Will LaPlante. He has a free throw coming up after this stoppage in play. 58.1 seconds remain. The Scarlet Hawks entered this fourth quarter with a 10-point lead. It was quickly cut down to 1. The lead has seesawed a couple of times since then, but right now it is King Philip with a 2-point advantage. "17 points in this fourth quarter for King Philip. Both sides back out onto the floor. LaPlante looking to finish off the three-point play and give his team a 3-point advantage. And meanwhile, the officials wanting to make sure the music was cut before play resumes. And LaPlante misses the free throw. It keeps it at a 2-point margin. 52 seconds. Testa hands off back to Soares. Now it's Farrell. Spins around, guns a pass underneath the basket. Too hot for Araujo to handle, and that's going to turn things back over to King Philip. They'll turn the shot clock off as there are 34.9 seconds remaining. So by a 1/10 of a second, the shot clock is turned off. And so Milford needing a big defensive stand here, a big heave up the floor for KP. And Milford not taking any chances. Jake Soares commits the foul. And that will send Brandon Nicastro to the line. He has 8 points on the night. Rivera's going to check back in, replacing Nick Araujo. It's a 1-and-1 situation here for King Philip. They miss the free throw. And Milford will inbound with 30.2 seconds, so King Philip has had a chance to ice this game with free throws here late. They've missed a couple of big ones. It's left the door ajar here for the Scarlet Hawks. As meanwhile, we'll flip sides of the floor. We'll have free throws coming up for Andrew Rivera. And a big spot for the sophomore. He has had a rough night shooting the basketball, but it will mean nothing if he can come through with some critical free throws here. And Rivera, the struggles continue, misses that shot. Still a chance to make it a 1-point difference. (56-55). Milford puts the pressure on in the backcourt, and immediately it is Soares again who commits the foul. That is his fourth. And right now, Zagami doing what good captains do, trying to keep Rivera engaged. He has worn the emotions on his sleeve at times tonight, frustrated with himself. And Grant Kinney misses another KP free throw. The noise deafening here in the Milford gym as Kinney knocks down the second. 57-55, less than 30 seconds left. Soares advances the basketball, and Coach Seaver calls the timeout. So once again, we have a Milford-King Philip matchup coming down to the final possession. 24.9 seconds left, a 2-point difference on the scoreboard. It has been the most difficult offensive quarter of the night for the Scarlet Hawks. So again, just a situation perhaps with young players getting a little bit tight in these critical situations. They have scored just 6 points in this fourth quarter, but still the game is within reach at 57-55. It all comes down to what these players can do coming out of this timeout. A chance to tie the game or take the lead. It has not been the most successful night from three-point territory for Milford tonight. As expected, "Let's go Milford" is the chant that comes from the jungle as these two teams retake the floor. Into the hands of Source, 22 seconds on the clock. Bounce pass into C.J. Farrell. Farrell goes up for the contested bucket. It's no good, and King Philip finds the rebound. And then Milford has to commit another foul, stopping the clock with 13.4 seconds. And at this point, Milford has to hope for at least one miss here from Tommy Martirano. It was C.J. Farrell committing the foul. It is his fifth, so he is out. Gus Coutinho takes his place. Martirano has made the only 2 free throws he has attempted tonight. A make here will essentially put the game out of reach. And he gets it to rattle home. So Martirano comes through with some critical buckets, and now Milford lets the ball roll. They need a quick basket here, but taking their time. 8 seconds left as Coutinho goes down. Milford taking a lot of precious seconds off the clock, and the hopes for this Milford crowd now just about worn out. KP gets the ball in to Brandon Nicastro. He puts it up and in. And Milford with a heave from 3/4 of the way up the floor. It is no good. And a game that had all kinds of drama, all kinds of exchanges of the lead. And meanwhile, a technical foul getting called here right at the end. So these teams about to go out to shake hands and sending everyone back to their respective sidelines. The lead right now at 6, so nothing that can really happen here with all zeros on the game clock to affect the outcome. Right now, discussion between Athletic Director Peter Boucher and head coach Dave DiStefano with the referees and also some security out on the court as well. Milford is heading to the locker room, so we won't have a handshake. This was a highly contested game. A lot of emotion on the floor and a lot of frustration in the end for the Scarlet Hawks as they will fall to the King Philip Warriors by a final score of 61-55. And so a solid fourth quarter effort here for the King Philip Warriors as they come from behind to earn the victory. So with the win, King Philip keeps their winning streak going. They have now won 5 straight, and they improve to 6-2 overall on the season. And with the loss, Milford dips back under the 500 mark. They are now 4-5 on the season. Milford will be back in action at home once again coming up on Tuesday night with a matchup against the Mansfield Hornets. So the competition does not get any easier coming up next week. The unbeaten Mansfield Hornets come to town. So that'll be a tall task for Milford. We will be back here in the gym with coverage of that game coming up on Tuesday night. So you can expect us live once again here on our YouTube channel. at 6:30 on Tuesday night as Milford plays host to Mansfield. But that's going to wrap up our coverage tonight. I want to send a big thank you out to our Milford TV crew on hand for the game, our college volunteer in from UMass on his college break, Zach Salumis in the director's chair for tonight's game, and also being helped out on the camera by our Milford TV intern, Jack Ricca. And I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time, King Philip defeats Milford by a final of 61-55. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.